What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, and welcome back to the 63. Today we're going to talk a little bit about commercial versus residential real estate investing. Just to give you guys a little history about me and my background, if you're new to the channel, I've been a commercial real estate lender for the better part of 25 years. So I have a lot of experience as a lender working with commercial real estate investors. I also, for the last 20 years, have been investing in residential real estate. So I have quite a bit of experience on the commercial side and on the residential side as it relates to real estate investing. So what I wanted to do today in this video is talk with you guys a little bit about the pros and some cons of each, and then tell you what I believe is the better opportunity for you as you think about real estate investing as an additional stream of income. Let's talk about what are the categories when it comes to commercial. You have retail buildings, you have industrial buildings, you have office buildings, you have multi-family buildings, and you also have land. So you got 5 categories. When it comes to residential, the categories you have are single-family homes, condominiums, townhouses, duplexes, fourplexes, all the way up to a sixplex. Now, normally when you get past a fourplex, any lender, in most cases, will consider that a commercial building. With commercial, you can have multiple tenants or you can have a single tenant. A lot of the commercial real estate investors I dealt with over the last 25 years as a lender, they did both. Some of them had single tenant buildings, but if they did have a single tenant building, it was leased by a national tenant. Someone like a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts or some type of restaurant chain. From time to time, they would have a local tenant, but that local tenant would be a well-heeled tenant who had been around a long time and had demonstrated the ability to be profitable and make their lease payments and take care of all the other obligations that they would need to take care of as a tenant. Then you have your multi-tenant properties on the commercial side. Well, you have a retail center and it may have 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 tenants in that retail center or in that office building. Obviously with multifamily, that's apartment complexes. So you can have a small apartment complex with 6 units on up to 1,000 units. It just depends on, as an investor, what you're looking for. On the residential side, where I have most of my investing expertise is, single family homes are awesome. Duplexes are great. Like I said, triplexes or quadplexes are great as well. The difference between the two, in my opinion, is on the commercial side, the tenant really bears the most of the responsibility for the expenses, because most of these commercial leases are going to be what they call triple net or absolute net leases. And what that basically means is the landlord is responsible for very few things, and the tenant typically inside of the lease is responsible for paying their rent. They're responsible for the utilities on the property. They're responsible for minor repairs to the property. In some cases, they're responsible for maintaining and maintaining the air conditioning unit, heating units. Normally, the landlord is probably responsible for property taxes. And in a lot of cases in triple net leases, absolute net leases, the tenant is responsible for paying the property tax. It just depends on the way you negotiate and build out your lease as a commercial landlord. On the residential side, normally the tenant will be responsible for the utilities, but that's really it. They're not responsible for the property taxes. They're not responsible to insure the property, or at least not the exterior or the appliances in the property. They may have some renter's insurance. They're not responsible for if something, the air conditioning units and things like that. That's all on the landlord. So you're gonna have more expenses as a landlord on the residential side than in a lot of cases you would on the commercial side. As it relates to leases, normally on the commercial side, you're going to have a more in-depth, more sophisticated lease because normally you're dealing with business owners or entities that are national entities that have real estate divisions that they want to look over that lease. And you normally, an attorney on the commercial side would be the one preparing the lease in a lot of cases because it's just a lot of legalities involved when you're leasing to a commercial or business tenant compared to a residential personal individual tenant. So on the residential side, the leases are going to be not that complicated. They're going to be pretty standard. Normally it's a 1-year lease. From time to time you'll see a 2-year lease on the residential side, but normally as a residential investor you want to make sure you keep your leases a year or less because you want to be able to quickly take advantage of increases in rental rates on an annual basis on the residential side. On the commercial side, your business owners are going to be a little bit more savvier than that. They're not going to want their lease rates changing every year. So normally on the commercial side, the standard lease you're going to sign is going to probably be between 3 to 5 years, at least in my experience. The longer the lease term for a business owner, the better, because then they can lock in and fix their rental costs and not have to worry about it changing on them every year. Which one of the two do I think is more profitable? Well, in my experience, I think commercial real estate investing, if done properly, is more profitable than residential. More incomes typically is involved with commercial leases because you're renting to businesses, and businesses need larger footprints on their buildings. They also need special requirements done to some of these buildings. For instance, if you were getting ready to do a build out and lease to Starbucks, there are certain things Starbucks is going to want in that building that you're going to be required to pay for. What most owners will do or investors will do on the commercial side, they'll build that cost into the lease. So if they got to do $100,000 worth of build out for Starbucks, they'll build that cost into the lease, and over time Starbucks will pay that money back to them in some capacity. Whereas on the residential side, it's pretty standard. Like I said, you know, if my rent's $1,200 a month, that's what I'm going to pay, and I'm going to pay my utilities. That's it. You really can't compete on an income standpoint with a commercial real estate investor because, like I said, they're going to probably have larger properties. You're going to have a small property. Unless you can scale and get to 100, 150, 250 residential single-family homes or duplexes or quads or triplexes, it's going to be hard for you to generate the type of income as a commercial real estate investor who has, you know, a 25-unit industrial building. You just have to figure out on your end what your appetite level is. Which one do you like? Do you like commercial? Do you like, or do both? I've worked with investors who've had both. They've had residential and they've had commercial, sort of a mixture. But most of my larger real estate investors were commercial real estate investors. I think my largest real estate investor had over $100 million in, you know, commercial real estate. Drop me some comments in the comment box. Let me know what you think. Let me know, you know, which one you think you would prefer, commercial or residential. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, and give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel and it helps me too. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace. If you want 2 free stocks, click on the link in the description box of the video, and Webull is going to give you 2 free stocks when you open up a Webull brokerage account, deposit at least $100 in that brokerage account. Guys, you're going to get 2 free stocks, and they're going to be valued up to $1,850. So if you want that free money, click on that Webull link, open up your new brokerage account today. Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. Send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.